Okay, so what do we do when we are feeling doubtful about our faith? Do you remember like 2 weeks ago, the prayer night we did, and I said like I am a chronic planner? Like I have a list of plans, and I have a plan of when to execute my future plans. Like I have lists and plans for everything that I think of. I'm also a chronic list maker. So I make lists all the time in the Notes app on my phone. One of the lists that I have are spiritual questions that I don't have the answers to right now. When I think of something and I can't think of an answer, I just write it down. And if I remember to, or if I have time, I try to look into that question that I thought of to see if I can answer it, to see what the answer is. Right now, I have 31 questions on my spiritual questions list, 31 things I can't answer that I would like to find the answer to. So I encourage you, if you think of things, just write them down. Come back to them later. Ask a pastor, ask your parents, ask your friends if like you respect your friend's spiritual level and they're not a complete bonehead, respectfully. Just make a list, write it down, come back to it. So some things we can do. I encourage you, number one, first and foremost, read what the Bible has to say on the subject. Whatever you're wondering about, like whatever your questions about, like the Bible probably talks about it. Like if you have a friend and they say, yeah, I'm into like witchcraft and Wiccan and I'm into crystals and I believe that like the world around us is all God, like the Bible addresses that. You can look at Exodus 20 and don't have any idols. You can look at Romans 1, we should worship the Creator and not worship the creation. Like the Bible addresses pretty much anything that you can think of. So before anything else, read what the Bible has to say on the subject. Ask a trusted spiritual leader. We, like people like myself, pastors, your youth leaders, we would love to have these conversations with you and talk about your questions. Doesn't mean we definitely have the answer, but maybe some of us have asked the same questions. Maybe we've had the same thoughts. Maybe we've wrestled through the same doubts. We can share. We've lived life a little bit longer, some of us a lot longer than the rest of you have, Mark. We're not going to judge you. We're not going to think like, oh, this person's asking that question, like, why didn't they figure that out in third grade like I did? No, we just want to talk about it with you guys. Because again, people who work through their questions and doubts, those are the people who over the course of life, their faith strengthens and it does not fall apart. 3, look at online sources. You have to be kind of careful. Like, take everything you read on the internet with a really big grain of rice. But sometimes, like when you Google things, you might find really helpful information. There's commentaries, a lot of online resources to explain what the Bible says. It might point you to Bible verses that you can read for yourself. So doubt is a very normal part of your Christian walk as you just mature and grow in your faith, the same way your body grows, the same way that your brain grows, your spiritual life should be growing as well. And having questions is a very, very normal thing. But make sure that you surround yourself, you stay surrounded with a good group of believers, and that you do work through these things. Because there will be times where you are no longer surrounded by a good group of Christians. Maybe you're just at work every day, in the world, or you go off to school, or who knows. And they're going to start to bring up all these things that you haven't really thought about before, and it might seem overwhelming, and you're like, oh no, I don't know how I can keep believing the faith. All these people bring up such good points that I've never thought of before. Work through these things now, while you have a good, strong support system to help you through it.